It's time for our daily dose of Cope, and we have the Honorable Reverend Leroy Leopard at the news anchor's desk for the Leopards News Network. There are so many stories to get to, so we're going to go ahead and jump into them. I've already told y'all, I think that Farmers for Trump is one of the dumbest MAGA demographic out there. They have screwed themselves like 4 or 5, maybe 7 different ways. These people did get a bailout during the first Trump administration, but they still voted for him again, knowing that he was talking about tariffs, that he was talking about mass deportation. And what he's also done is put on this trade war that makes it so that other countries don't want to buy the farmers' food. They have screwed themselves several different ways.
American farmers are in big trouble. They are losing money like water right now, because their costs are going through the roof while the amount that they're getting for their crops is falling. Increasing costs and decreasing revenue spells disaster. But the situation gets even worse. Right now, American farmers are about to produce a record crop of soy and corn. Now, guess who usually buys a lot of American soy? That's right, China does. But thanks to this trade war that the US has insisted on having against China has started getting its soy elsewhere, not from American farmers. So American farmers have a lot of soy and nowhere to sell it, pushing prices down here and making them go into the red, losing a lot of money. And to make matters worse, fertilizer costs are shooting through the roof. Farmers are bleeding money right now, and there looks to be no end in sight.
Now these farmers in Arkansas are asking for some socialism. They're asking for some welfare. They're asking for a handout. When they voted to screw themselves and the rest of the American people, they are now looking for some money. They're looking to be bailed out.
Well, we've heard just how tough this year has been for farmers, and one farmer that I spoke to in Rector said that while he has farmed his whole life, this year has him worried.
I've never in my life faced a time, and I've been farming since 1993 on my own, where the outlook is so bleak financially.
In a year where crops have been tested by Mother Nature, the toughest test may lie just ahead for farmers. Harvest begins across Arkansas, but for farmers like Cliff Carter, the challenge will happen after.
This is the first time in my life farming that I still have crop in my bins that I can't sell.
Despite a good crop this year, Carter says the prices they get for those crops won't cover expenses. He's not alone. Ag America reported in March the agricultural trade could reach a record trade deficit. Carter says the price for crops has dropped drastically.
Basically, what we're getting out, a bushel of corn or a bushel of rice, would be like you making $5 an hour and trying to pay your bills at home. In today's time, we can't do it.
Carter says farmers face challenges from several angles. Earlier this year, tariffs were imposed on U.S. exports. Carter said while businesses can fight tariffs by raising their prices, the reality is not the same for farmers.
We can't do that. Our price, the price is set for us is global market.
He said those tariffs are costing farmers their biggest customers.
Mexico and China are the two biggest rice buyers for the United. They buy more rice off of us than anyone. And when they stop buying rice, we have nowhere to go with the rice.
Carter said it's not just tariffs. The rise in global competitors like Brazil is also hurting farmers. Selling domestically is an option, but
I was offered $3.90 a bushel for rice last week to make dog food out of. That won't even cover my seed cost hardly.
Agriculture is a $20 billion industry in Arkansas. Carter fears that failure for farmers won't just stop with them.
It won't be a trickle-down effect. It will be like flushing a toilet if the ag industry collapses.
Carter says farmers need help from the government to help bridge the gap between the cost of producing crops and selling them. Despite a bleak outlook, Carter said there's one thing that keeps him from losing faith for farmers.
Totally 100% dependent upon the Lord Jesus Christ. I surrender it to him.
Red states and Republicans benefited from many of the infrastructure projects that were put in place during the Biden administration. The Biden administration was trying to put people back to work. These people, these red states, these Trump supporters voted for Trump. Trump came in and snatched that money back, jacking up these different projects, probably putting these people out of work. This is a post in the Leopards Ate My Face. It's titled, Don Cardell of Mitchell, Indiana, and 74.6% of Lawrence County, Indiana, voted for Trump to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. Trump canceled their $500 million grant for a low-carbon cement manufacturing plant and over 1,000 jobs. People feel like they have been stabbed in the back. Cement producers have a plan to go green. Trump is blocking them. Amid fierce global competition to dominate the industry's future, the Trump administration puts U.S. companies in a bind. The Trump administration's zeal to eviscerate incentives to reduce global warming has swept up a community in Deep Red, Indiana, where supporters of the president say his targeting of a local cement factory is hurting the region and an entire industry. The Heidelberg plant in the town of Mitchell was meant to be a model for the world, a place where the United States could take the lead in cutting carbon dioxide emissions from cement manufacturing, an increasingly urgent goal for construction projects. Yet the administration's cancellation of the $500 million grant for machinery to trap and bury the plant's greenhouse gas left the staunchly Republican community stunned and cement industry officials questioning if the United States will be equipped to keep up with a fast-evolving global marketplace. This was going to be a demonstration project for the entire country, said Doug Cadell, the Republican mayor of Mitchell, with a population of 4,000. Part of what is disheartening for us is so much had already been done and spent on this project, and now it has all come to a halt. The demand for lower carbon cement is surging as regulators in the states and other countries mandate cleaner products. Cement is one of the most carbon intensive products, creating as much as 8% of the planet's greenhouse gas. Countries are inking international agreements, vowing to purchase only low-carbon cement in the future. States are directing their transportation departments, some of the largest consumers of concrete, to shift their purchasing to low-carbon products. At the same time, the world's biggest companies, especially tech firms, pouring hundreds of thousands of tons of concrete to build sprawling data center campuses, see green cement as a crucial vehicle for meeting their own emissions targets. Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft are all pursuing partnerships aimed at securing more climate-friendly cement. Why would we not proceed with this to see how viable the technology is, said Cadell. It could virtually eliminate carbon dioxide emissions. It would be a win for everyone. The Department of Energy abruptly canceled the Heidelberg project in May as part of an administration purge of billions of dollars of grants perceived to be linked to global warming, which Energy Secretary Chris Wright has declared an exaggerated problem. The whole go woke thing. Get rid of everything woke. Carbon capture and cement decarbonization, as described in this award, does not meet the goals or priorities of DOE and the administration, said the termination letter sent to Heidelberg. It also alluded to the cost of transporting the captured carbon being too high, which puzzled Heidelberg because the emissions would be buried on site. The Energy Department said in a statement that its initial review did not find the projects are financially sound, economically viable, and generate the largest possible benefit to the American people. The department did not comment on the details of the appeals. Critics say the cases underscore how Trump's crusade against clean technology incentives is creating economic risks. The project was enthusiastically supported by GOP leaders in the state who joined Biden administration officials at its unveiling. Now, the 1,000 temporary construction jobs and 36 long-term positions at the plant it promised are in jeopardy, and Heidelberg could be forced to shift the demonstration project to one of its plants abroad. People feel like they've been stabbed in the back, said Doug Duncan, a fourth-generation worker at the century-old plant and president of the local United Steelworkers Union in Mitchell. This was an investment in the long-term future of this plant and the cement industry. It would have allowed us to capture 2 million tons of carbon. Now that future is uncertain. The man that provided that screenshot provided this as well. This county in Indiana voted overwhelmingly for Republican leaders. Look at this. Well, 2024, 74%, 2020, 74%, 2016, almost 73%. So they are hardcore Republican over there. So this is basically what they voted for. He shared this Tom and Jerry cartoon. If you need to take this as well, basically these Trump supporters are powing themselves in the face, like boom, in the face because they voted for Donald Trump. I have a whole video talking about the Epstein files and the survivors. So the survivors is like, bam, we're going to talk about it ourselves because we got Donald Trump that's still over here talking about how it's a Democrat hoax. So this is what he ran on. And this, I mean, some of his supporters are like, dude, you said you were going to do this. So like this woman, conservative girl, says, I'm so disappointed in Trump and his whole administration. I thought it would be so different than it is. Because Donald Trump and his administration, they're trying to hide everything. She's reshared this from Leading Report saying, breaking, any Republican who signs Representative Thomas Massey's discharge petition on the Epstein files will be seen as committing a hostile act against the Trump administration, per the White House official. America First says, he's lost the plot. He is lost. I cannot fathom what the hell happened to him. At this juncture is worrisome. We deserve better than this. And then Conservative Girl says, we absolutely deserve better. I did not vote for this. Yes, you did. You voted for a lying liar who is a con man, who is a predator himself. This is what you voted for, Conservative Girl. We have a how it started, how it's going from More Motivation. This says, MAGA granny living on Social Security and 3-time Trump voter realizes that she got played as it now affects her. Back in July, MAGA granny says, so the tariffs work. The border is closed. Egg prices are low. Stocks are soaring. And it took Trump just 6 months. The Democrats aren't freaking out because Trump is failing as president. They are freaking out because he is the most effective president in living memory. And then back in April, she was saying, true statement, we cannot be fair weather Trump supporters. He campaigned on tariffs, and this is what we voted for. Stay strong and open-minded. Still in April, we voted for Trump and he campaigned on tariffs. This should not be a surprise to anyone. Trump usually attempts to keep his promises. Still in April, she said, George, don't try to reason with the unreasonable. We voted for Trump and he ran on tariffs. He spoke about tariffs at his rallies. We knew this was coming. I hope it's not going to take long before the other countries decide to come to the table. So she's trying to hold strong, and she knew what she was voting for. On September 1st, the White House released this. President Donald J. Trump stands for the American worker, wins, wages are rising, inflation is falling. Here's the MAGA granny at the bottom saying, BS lies. I voted for Trump 3 times, but my income, Social Security, has not gone up, but everything else has. No lower cost for groceries, utilities, or insurance. Okay, I admit my gas has gone down 50 cents a gallon. It's been 8 months and I voted for a lot more. And she gives this angry face. They are realizing, oh God. She was like, hold the line. This is what we voted for. We voted for tariffs. If you voted for tariffs, you voted for higher prices. Congrats, you played yourself.
A player can't even take the weekend off without you planning his funeral. That's how you feel about me? Blacks. I knew it was you. That's how you feel about me. A player can't even take the holiday weekend off without you guys planning a memorial. Having a party, celebrating, hoping, wishing, good God-fearing people, hoping on my downfall. It's a very important day with important friends, making an important announcement about important things, bigly, beautiful things, wonderful things, fantabulastic things. I got my boys with me, good boys, proud boys, they're all here with me, bigly. Got a hitter to the left of me, Big Jiggle Diggle is here. He's not pissed at all that I'm not dead. You guys wanted me dead. Bigly, I didn't forget that. I want to thank my stunt double, Tom, for coming out yesterday and golfing for me on my behalf. You guys were making fun of them saying, I saw your little jokes where you were saying that the bag they threw out of the White House window was from my diaper genie, and I thought that was hurtful. It hurt. It was hurtful to me, I'm not gonna lie. Anything goes wrong, you blame AI. You say AI. No one's throwing things out of the window that was AI. No one's got 34 felonies. That's AI. Bigly. That was one of the best announcements that's ever been given. No one's announced things as thoroughly and wonderfully, beautifully as I did today. And you're welcome. You're welcome that I'm still kicking it old school. Bigly, I'm doing that. I'll continue to do it. I'll continue to excel and be wonderful. The beautiful, the sexy, the wonderful Huntsville, Alabama. Everyone calls it that. Everyone thinks about how beautiful and sexy Alabama is. They've always said that. It's always been a thing. The Republicans, they voted for me. They vote for me down there. We love it down there. Sexy. Very sexy to vote for me. Huntsville, Alabama will affectionately be known from here on as Rocket Cocket Socket Robot. Everyone loves it. We love Alabama. We love Alaska. They say, bigly, roll tide, as it were. Roll up, tide. Bigly. I didn't hear about that at all. I didn't hear about you thinking that I was dead, but when I heard about it, I thought I was pissed. You didn't see Joe Biden every day. Sleepy Joe. Joe slept in plenty of times, a lot of times. You guys didn't put him in the grave, and he's very old, that guy. He has a little thing on the back of his hair that sticks out, and that Joe, he's not a very good guy. He's Joe Biden. Sleepy. He's sleepy. You guys didn't ask him, was he dead? You want to put me dead? I thought that was nasty. Bigly, a player can't take the weekend off around here.